Hello and welcome to this full-length tutorial on Gemini, Google's AI. This is the home screen of Gemini. After you log in using your Google account, this is where you will land up. In the bottom, you can see a bar where you can type in your prompt. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to understand the text-based prompts. Then we will look at image-based prompts, and then we'll also take a look at all the extensions that Gemini has to offer. So in the prompt section, I'm asking Gemini to look for all climate change related news in the past year. It will curate certain major events of climate change which happened in 2024, and it will put it based on each category. I can also see the information resources from which all of the data is being taken. You can click on this arrow to see each reference linked to a certain statement. Now you can click on these three dots to double check the response. Now what Gemini will do is it will look for more sources which can confirm this statement. It will also look for sources which may contradict any of these statements, and whatever is marked with green will mean that Google was able to find similar content like this on multiple platforms. You can also click on these three dots and listen to a response.
2024 was a year marked by significant climate change impacts.
You can pause it from here and resume it at any time. So this is the basic text-based prompt of Gemini. Let's take a look at the image-based prompts. I've started a new chat and upload an image from here. And I'll ask Gemini to explain this infographic. So it will extract all the text and look for relevant sources and explain the major points mentioned in this image, which is regarding climate change. Go back from here and read all of this. And the source is also mentioned. Now, if I try to double check this response, it tells me that no results were found. If I take a look at understanding these results, non-highlighted text means that there was no enough information for Google to evaluate these statements. Now that I feel is a bit odd, because topics like these have a lot of resources to either ascertain or reject all of the data. So when it comes to explaining images, the text which is generated is something which is not being checked properly. The double check a response option is not working that great. So that was about image-based prompts. Now I've started a new chat, and of course you can also ask Gemini to generate images. So I am asking it to generate an image as such. It is creating an image using Imagen 3, which is the latest image generation model integrated into Gemini. It says that generating images of people is only available for Gemini advanced users, for which you need to pay a premium. So what I can do here is generate an image of a bonfire by a serene lake amidst snow-clad mountains. And let me see, by removing the person, what kind of image can Gemini generate. It generated a very good rendered image of whatever prompt I had typed in. You can download it from here. So Gemini, at least for free users, is not yet that extensive when it comes to image generation. Like it said, it can't generate images of people. You require Gemini Advanced for that. So for image generation, this would not be my go-to tool, especially if I don't wish to pay a premium, because there are other tools like Copilot or Leonardo which can generate images with people in it without people having to pay anything. Now let's move on to the next section of extensions. So extensions is where things get very interesting, because this is where the traditional tools like Google Workspace, Flights, Hotels, Maps, YouTube Music are now integrated with Google's AI. And we will enable all of them from here first so that we can use all of them. Connect with YouTube Music. I'll say yes. Now I will start a new chat. Let's explore all of these extensions one by one. Let me ask Google Drive documents to be used here, based on which I want a paragraph on tackling climate change. Now it says that it's using Google Workspace to find my documents. Google Workspace will be used of the account using which you have logged in to use Gemini, the same account. It says that it found 2 relevant documents in my Google Drive, the names of the PDFs and what it means based on these 2 resources of what we need to do to fight climate change. So this is where Google Workspace can be integrated with Gemini. You can also type @ and tag any of Google's tools like Calendar, Tasks, Keep, Gmail, YouTube and YouTube Music. So if you want to address a specific question to a particular extension, you can tag that particular extension as well. Now let's see how Google Flights extension works. I've asked it to look for flights for a particular event to be held in London from 11th to 15th. Now it has given me a summary of all the flights based on what prompt I have put over here. Also given me all of this information. Now let's ask Gemini to find hotels during my stay in London. It's found all of these hotels. The prices have also been mentioned here. So this is how I can start planning my trip to London. Now I can ask it to look for parks and museums where I can visit after the test match ends on all the 5 days. So it will use Google Maps extension to find me all these parks. The timings are also mentioned here, so I can plan my itinerary in London accordingly. And finally, I can ask Gemini to consolidate all this information and give me a complete itinerary for my London visit. So it will give me day-by-day itinerary of what I can do on all these days. Additional tips are also mentioned here. So this is how Gemini integrates with other Google tools and caters this experience for me, where a lot of the tasks which I would have had to search for manually are automated here, and that would save me a great deal of time. To get a more visual understanding of how my trip may look like, I can use the YouTube extension and ask Gemini to find vlogs of people who have traveled to London during the same time. It's connecting to YouTube, and these are some vlogs from a Chennai girl, IUNPU show. So a lot of relevant videos can be found out. There are a few more. So this is how I can use Gemini and plan my trip or look for any information which all of these extensions can give. And I can combine all of the information which different Google tools have and curate a proper itinerary for my visit. Now the next one is YouTube Music. So I'm asking a music related question to Gemini. What are some songs sung by Chris Martin, who is the lead singer of Coldplay, which are not by Coldplay? The prompt has not been understood well, and I can still see songs by Coldplay, but what I asked was, has he sung songs which are not by Coldplay? So I felt that Gemini couldn't go into the details of what I had asked in the prompts, and it did not use YouTube Music's database fully to cater to my specific prompt. However, generic prompts like list of current trending songs would easily be shown by Gemini using the extension of YouTube Music. Now, Gemini has launched a newer version 2.0 Flash Experimental. The preview is currently out there for everyone, and I am going to see how all of the responses that we were generating so far, how would they fare, or how would they change or remain the same when I'm using Flash Experimental. So looking for the first prompt again. So I felt that the prompt is more or less giving the same result. Of course, the information itself is different, but I did not see anything very significantly different from 1.5 Gemini. Looking for double checking the response. Let me see if something different comes up. Not really, it's still more or less the same. And in the next part of the video, I would be showing a comparison of each of the responses of Gemini for all the prompts that we have used so far for Gemini 1.5 versus 2.0 Flash Experimental. As you could see, most of the responses were similar when we used either the 1.5 Flash or 2.0 Flash. However, I did see two differences. The first one was the very specific question about a particular singer singing songs outside of their own creation was answered better by Flash 2.0, I believe. And the second thing that I noticed was when I asked Flash 2.0 to explain me an infographic, it started to collect data from my Google Workspace, from my PDF. And as Gemini has already given a discretion that it may not work as expected, there are a few other things like Gem Manager, which are personalized AI bots, but they're only for premium users. You can head over to the help section, look at the privacy hub, look at all the update log of Gemini, of what are the updates on what particular dates. You can also take a look at the FAQs help section and learn more about Gemini Advanced here. The activity of Gemini across all the devices logged in using your Gmail would be visible here, and you can toggle on the dark mode from here. You toggle it off. Your public links is something where you can actually share any of your chat, either export it to docs or draft in an email, and once you share that link, those links would be available here. That's all from this video. If you have any questions about Gemini, or if you want us to cover any other tools, or if you have any other feedback or questions for us, please feel free to use the comment section.